Yes. Yeah, 2 weeks, right. It's been 2 weeks since I put out a devlog. No, I'm not done. I'm going to record one today. Actually, right now. Now, these past 2 weeks, I haven't just not been working on it. It's that there wasn't anything really to show. I worked on entirely upscaling the game to double the pixel ratio, which means it's going to be a lot cleaner. All the artwork had to be redone a little bit, as well as it's a lot of coding as far as variables and positioning of objects in rooms. With that being said, I really like the look of it now. Some of the art I really got to work on was swords. I like that one a lot more than that one. Some of the hammers, again, the clean look of that one is just so much more of what I was looking for than that one. I mean, and enemies too. That mage to that mage, no comparison. However, some enemies I did keep small, but they're gonna get big depending on the game situation. I also made and introduced rats. Not nasty ones, more like civilized ones. Now, I wanted to try and find an enemy that would create other enemies. And at first I was like, well, what about mages or something like that? And I thought, well, what about rats coming out of furniture? And then I kind of settled on both. So now you have a rat mage that summons other rats. And it's sounding stupider as I say it, but hey, I think he's adorable and we're gonna keep him. I also got the base work down for traps. I got the main point down to allow implementation very simple. I basically had a little dart shooter, but I haven't really re-updated the artwork yet, so it's kind of small to the world, but hey, it is what it is. With all this put together, I haven't even worked on the differences in the rooms yet. The procedural generation is there, it's just bland, there's nothing to pull from, no assets to grab. And that's okay, I just want to get the framework down. Now what I'm going to be focusing on this week is creating a variation of rooms that are actually going to make each dungeon feel a little bit unique. It's going to allow for a little bit more control, but it's going to keep a nice look. You can check it on Twitter, updates will happen there, and you can see some of the little things that are going to happen between videos and kind of what I've been working on, including some assets that may not stick around the game or make it into the devlog, but you can get a little sneak peek of it there. Now, I am setting up to do a couple quick tutorials this week of just some very basic codes, some of how I set up my things that I think you guys might appreciate, especially if you're on Game Maker. I want to do a series called Convenient Coding, where I'm just going to show you some of my scripts and basic code that I use in almost every one of my projects to make implementation super easy, very universal, and allow for some great things to happen. The first one I'm going to be doing is showing you how not to get stuck in walls, whether it's a top-down, a platformer, or any sort of game, and that's going to come out later this week. My next devlog will have a lot more content coming out, and less of this talking head video and more of diving into the code. So if you want to check that out, the tutorials I'm making, or any other updates, hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and let's create something together.